Greetings to all. Good afternoon and happy Tuesday. It is a gray Tuesday afternoon here in New York. And yeah, you're seeing me on a Tuesday. You're seeing me during the week. Well, I'm here because I'm on vacation and I'm just having a little bit of time here. And, just wanted to check in with everyone, see how everybody's doing. I am, of course, Isaiah Carter. Y'all know me. I am one half of the Apostate radio duo. Nino Chavez is, doing his thing, working. Hope he's well, wherever he might be roaming. Told him if he basically said if he wanted to stop in, he's more than welcome to. But this is just an unofficial thing. Wanted to get a few things off my chest because it's been a pretty busy week. I want to give a shout out to Michael DC Bowen of Free Black Thought, who we had on Sunday. It was an absolute treat to have him on this past Sunday. Definitely someone who I probably want to get to know. It was one of the things that we talked about last night, but that is a man who is a real one. And I must say, in the process of doing this show over the last several months, I've had the real privilege of getting to know so many people and reaching out and really learning from the people that we've had on. It's a great this has been a Apostate Radio has been a life changer for me, and I wanted to express that to y'all right now. We are, of course, on I'm on X, I'm on YouTube, X, and Rumble right now. Of course, you can follow me at Isaiah L. Carter. You can follow Nino at Nino Chavez X, formerly known as Nostra Chavez. And then, of course, the show, our show page, Apostate Radio NY. You can follow us for show updates. Sometimes you'll see a post of mine from there, a post from Nino's, all sorts of good stuff there. And of course, if you would like to support any of our efforts, Apostate, buymeacoffee.com/apostate radio. And also I have an Escape from New York City fund that's still active. I'm actually going to be putting that on the screen right now. Yes, we are. Corrine, my wife and I, we have escaped from New York. And thank God we did. There's just a lot of, I could go into so many things with that, but it's taken a bit out of our finances, as you can imagine. Basically our lives were upended unexpectedly by people we thought were close to us, and so we have to do what we need to do. And I want to thank each and every one who has given already. Those of you who have sent us even things aside from the GoFundMe. And I really, really appreciate that. So why am I here? Man. Boy. I mean, this is basically, I just basically wanted to check in. Please make sure you like, subscribe to Rumble, to Rumble, to our to my YouTube channel, all that good stuff. And how do I want to open up this stream here? Well, I want to get something out of, I really want to get this off my chest, especially after Donald Trump, the 45th and now 47th president of the United States, effectively ended World War III and actually brought peace to the Middle East. Once believed to be an impossible dream, once thought to be something that just would never, ever happen in our lifetime. President of the United States actually did it. He brought multiple countries, including Israel, Egypt, and I'm still in shock that the whole conflict in Gaza is over. The hostages, well, whatever remaining hostages were still alive, which was 20 of them, brought home safely. And I'm in shock. I am truly, truly in shock because for so many years, I had Trump derangement syndrome. I really did. I had Trump derangement syndrome like you wouldn't believe. I was one of these Democrats who hated Donald Trump, didn't even really have a reason to hate him. I was, I bought into the propaganda just like a whole lot of other people. I was a loyal Democrat. And I voted in 2020 for Joe Biden, thinking that he was going to return the country to some kind of normalcy that we were going to have, from all of the chaos of COVID and all the rest. I thought, man, we are finally going to have something resembling normal. And we saw exactly what kind of normal these people had in mind for us. I was wrong to vote for Joe Biden. I was absolutely wrong to vote for Joe Biden. And I've talked about this before, for those of you who don't know, I not only voted for Joe Biden, I donated to his campaign. I was somebody who I was in the America the Beautiful victory video that was cut after Biden won the election. Still regret it to this day. I still regret it to this day. Especially since it didn't take very long for this president, for Joe Biden, to effectively cure me of my Trump derangement syndrome. Centralization of the government, suppression of speech, the deputizing social media companies to do the bidding of the federal government. January 6th, the Capitol putsch, as I called it one time. Like there was a genuine like all of these things that we're finding out now were totally fake, totally like it fills me with an anger to know that, and a deep sadness actually, to know that I supported the Democrat Party as much as I did. It does. It's truly sad. But and then most of you know already in 2024 I voted for for Donald Trump. First time that I actually did, and no regrets at all. No regrets whatsoever. Couldn't be happier. This man actually brought to this like as of yesterday, ended the war in Gaza and brought peace to the Middle East. While Democrats I have to say this. After everything I've seen over the last several days, Democrats must never, ever hold power again. Now, who am I talking about? Well, yesterday, matter of fact, that's not the right one. Yesterday, well, actually, no. Yeah, yesterday. The President of the United States just effectively, and like I said, he ended the war in Gaza. Nick Sordor, matter of fact, I'm going to pull this up in just a second. I want to make sure that that I get the story right. This is from yesterday. President Trump, Nick Sordor writes, he posted, breaking: President Trump and Middle Eastern leaders have officially signed the Gaza peace deal, securing 47th place in history in the history books as the peace president. And I'm going to play this video from that Nick posted.
Okay. This took 3,000 years to get to this point. Can you believe it? And it's going to hold up, too. It's going to hold up. Okay, thank you.
Incredible.
You can use my pen if you want. Have a pen? Let me use mine. Okay. Okay. Okay.
This is history in the making. Absolutely historic. Undeniable at this point. I'm gonna stop it right there, because What y'all need to understand about this is that no one thought that this was possible. I didn't even think that was possible. I didn't. To get all those strong men in one room to effectively end the war in Gaza, to end a conflict that, as the president said, took 3 millennia to end. 3 millennia. And he did so right there. And mind you, there are Democrats right now who, and by Democrats, I'm talking about like your far, far leftists. Leftists spent all day yesterday trying to avoid giving that man the credit he was due. They did. They absolutely did. Because they didn't really want this. Please understand, folks. Y'all need to understand this right now. The Democrat Party, the DSA, and all of these other communist entities in this country did not want this. They didn't want this. None of these people wanted the conflict to end. Everybody was making money off of what was happening. Leftists were making money off of what was happening in the streets. All these protests happening across the country, these gigantic things where these gigantic events where you've got hundreds, if not thousands of people all marching and saying free Palestine. And please understand, all of these things were bought and paid for. They were all fake. All of them were fake. You can go on, I've talked about this before, how you can go on Craigslist right now and there are listings for paid protesters making about $30 an hour. They've been doing this for months. Antifa, now designated as a, let me not get off topic. These entities they never wanted peace. Please understand, they don't want peace. They don't want things to actually go well for Palestine or anything else. They were rooting for Hamas. They've always rooted for Hamas and nobody else. Hamas, understand, this has been a communist operation for the longest. When October 7th happened over 2 years ago, Black Lives Matter and all these other leftist groups were cheering on the massacring of Jews, of 1,400 Jews by Hamas. They were cheering it on as a decolonization effort. The left thrives off of violence. The left thrives off of throwing off of violence and strife and dismantling and destroying all that which is normal. All so that they could have their own little revolution. And Trump just ended that. Trump just took away everything they were going for. He took away the very reason why you have why the DSA were marching through the streets of New York City. He defeated the globalized intifada. All of Hamas's leadership, senior leadership, are dead. All of them are gone. Trump ended something that leftists did not want to end. The Biden administration could have ended this conflict at whenever when they were in power. They didn't. They didn't end it. And again, the left didn't want this conflict to end. They did not. And so now it's like, well, what can they say? What are they going to go back to? Now that Palestine is no longer a reason to be out in the street, what the fuck are they going to talk about? The fuck are they going to whine about? What are they going to destroy property over? I mean, what are they going to do? There's nothing for them to do. Because, like I said, Trump took their reason for existence, their raison d'être. He took it away. And I, for one, couldn't be happier. Because I'm sick of these communists. I'm sick of these fucking leftists. I'm sick of these communists. The things that these people have done, the things that they want to do to our society, I'm just over it. I'm over it. I'm over it with these people. These people don't want anything good except power. They want nothing good. Nothing good comes from these people. All they care about is power and their revolution. Trump just ended the globalized intifada. Undeniable at this point. Undeniable at this point. And I like, it disturbs me deeply when I think about these people. Something else I'm gonna go over, because it's all connected. All of the stuff is connected. The one big thing. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that in just a sec. But yeah, there's something else I see that I want to talk about. But I really wanted to get into this whole thing with Letitia James. Letitia James was apparently on stage with Zoran, the presumptive mayor of New York City, presumptive mayor-elect. Yeah. I mean, basically, well, hold on a second. Before I do that, let me show you who the presumptive mayor of New York City is. Okay. And the fact that, and honestly, the fact that he tagged himself doing this makes it even better. Okay. This guy right here. This guy right here says, hold on, pull this up. Yeah. This is from the 12th. This morning, I ran the New York City Gaza 5K in Prospect Park, Brooklyn, for the third time alongside the Harlem Run Club to raise money for UNRWA USA, which delivers critical humanitarian aid and services to Palestinians in Gaza. This guy's a fucking idiot because the UN, that particular organization, had employees who participated in the massacre for October 7th. They watched and maybe even did a little extra, as Izengabe writes, posted and replied here. UN probe, this is from CNN. UN probe finds 9 UNRWA employees may have been involved in October 7th attack. This is a piece from last year. Then in the UN, UNRWA has 14,000 staff, or at least they did at the time. They had 14,000 staff members in Gaza, and 9 of them may have been involved in 10/7. Imagine that. And Zoran is just going right along and just running with these people and just like, here we go, la 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 la. Globalize the intifada. The presumptive mayor of New York, the soon-to-be mayor of New York City, actively running and raising money for Hamas terrorism. That guy's going to be mayor of New York City. And I got out just in time. We got out just in time. The left did not want this. The left did not want that conflict to end. And I can prove it. I can prove it. I'm going to read this statement by the DSA that I'm going to put on the screen right now. Until Palestinian liberation. Why? This already happened. From yesterday, earlier this week, this is from the DSA's website, the Democratic Socialists of America. Earlier this week, the Palestinian resistance, Hamas, announced that a ceasefire agreement has been reached and would entail the end of this intensified stage of the genocide. This will not end Israel's assault on the Palestinian people or the theft or and occupation of Palestinian lands. A conditional ceasefire agreement does not wash the hands of the ruling class. When they say ruling class, folks, when they say ruling class, they mean Israel. Let's just be very clear. When they say ruling class, they mean Israel. Oh, that's not a good one. Here we go. Continuing on, DSA acknowledges and welcomes a conditional the ruling class that touted their legal obligation to intervene and instead continue to fuel an armed genocide while stoking regional war. Fuck off with this. Like seriously, communists lie. They lie. It is a lie that there was a quote unquote genocide going on. for the last 2 years. This was an armed conflict that started with Hamas parachuting in to some hippie concert in the south of Israel and massacring almost 1,500 Jews. There was so you guys can start war, but then when you can't finish it and you get your shit pushed in, then it becomes a genocide. Because because again, this is the Darvo. That's Darvo. But that's what communists do, is Darvo. DSA acknowledges and welcomes the relief that may be afforded to Palestinians under the agreement in humanitarian assistance and cessation of Israeli military operations. Every life saved is precious. Parents, children, entire communities. DSA sends the strongest solidarity to our comrades in Palestine. Comrades in Palestine. Hamas, you mean? What are they saying? Your comrades in Palestine. Remember how I've told you, how I've said in recent Apostate radio episodes and previous Apostate radio episodes, how all of these, Palestine is a relic of the Soviet Union. It was essentially, I shouldn't say essentially, it was the outpost. It was the Middle Eastern outpost for the Soviet Union. Yasser Arafat and all of the PLO and all this. This has been, again, they are a communist outpost. And they always have been. So, of course, again, you have to ask that question. When they say comrades in Palestine, they're talking about Hamas. However, DSA harbors no illusions that Israel will honor any negotiated agreement that preserves Palestinian life for self-determination. The fuck does that even mean? Past ceasefires only slowed the carnage, and Israel continued military action with impunity. Again, they finished conflicts that were started by Hamas. It's that simple. It really is. It's that simple. The occupied past past ceasefires only slowed the carnage, and Israel continued military action with impunity. The future of Gaza continues to be negotiated, but not self-determined. Not self-determined. Oh, that's interesting. The occupied West Bank and Jerusalem eroding under illegal. Oh my God, they keep the same Darvo, the same reversed language. Across the region, Israel terrorizes the people of Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, Qatar, and Iran, while wielding the implicit threat of nuclear. It's fascist, again, all the typical commie dog shit. Fascist, expansionist aspirations. Seriously? Any good thing that I don't think I need to keep saying this. When communists call something fascist, that means it actually works. It means it's a good thing. Communists are evil people. And until y'all realize that, until people begin to understand what exactly we're dealing with, we're just going to keep going through this. DSA stands for the long-standing, the long sought-after stability in the region is dependent on Israel and its allies finally being held accountable for their decades-long list of war crimes and imperial aggression. Until then, there can be no long-lasting peace. So in other words, we are going to keep fighting. We are going to keep agitating because what we really wanted was Israel blown off the map. When they said from the river to the sea, they fucking meant it. These communists meant it. These woke rightists that like to hang out with these fucking people, they meant it. They meant it. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be. They repeated that. They repeated that mantra because when they said from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Please understand that means when every single Israeli, when every single Jew is exterminated from the land of Israel, that's when they can be truly free. That's what these people are after. October 7th was only supposed to be the appetizer for a much larger war. And Trump ended that in 2 years. Trump ended it in the first 9 months, within the first year of his presidency, of his second presidency. DSA continuing with this slop. DSA continues for the full freedoms and self-determination of the Palestinian people. They love that self-determination. They love that shit. They love throwing that around of the Palestinian people, to including the end of Israel's colonization. There it is again. What did you think decolonization means? Remember that? Remember that post from a few months ago, from a couple years ago? We affirm in alignment with Al-Thawabit, the inviolable rights of Palestinians and international law, upholding Palestinians' right to resist occupation in order to secure justice and dignity. We want to keep fighting. Again, we want to keep fighting, and we're going to keep this going. Just because y'all ended the official fight don't mean we're not going to keep going. Again, this is why, like, quite seriously, ladies and gentlemen, communists deserve no quarter. They deserve no quarter. I don't care whatever they say, all of the whatever rhetoric they want to fucking use. These people are violent. They are vile animals that want to hurt you. They want to blow. This is an admission of. This is a confession that they want to end Israel. They want dead Jews. Again, it's clear and obvious. Our role is to end our role is to end U.S. complicity in Israel's genocide. Israel's genocide and apartheid at every level in our communities, our government, our workplaces. What the fuck does that even mean? With every economic and political tool at our disposal. That's why DSA is organizing labor for an arms embargo and pushing to join the movement bursting forth in the Mediterranean and Europe to disrupt the supply chain of endless. What is that? And blah 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 blah. We will break the gears of the U.S. imperial war machine. Whatever. We proudly join together with our comrades in solidarity until justice is rendered for all Palestinians. The struggle for liberation continues. Solidarity forever. And you guys can fuck off. I don't know what to say to that. Please make sure you like, subscribe, please comment, turn on your notifications. Let us know you're out there. Also, you can see the QR code in the upper left side of the upper left hand corner of the screen. Please make sure that you hit up the Escape from New York City Fund. Really appreciate that. If you have not already. Oh boy, I don't know, man. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I cannot. It's just hilarious to me. Like, honestly, this is hilarious. And what makes this even more hilarious to me is that, again, like, it's over. Trump Thanos snapped the entire, like, their whole reason for living gone. Their whole, like, their whole thing just done. Don't care. Fuck them. That's what these people are about. I have had it. I have absolutely had it. It's actually hilarious to me that these people have been able to have been doing what they've been doing. Oh man. No comments as of yet. Please let me know that you guys are out there. Let me know if you can hear this, if you can see me right now. I know a lot of you. I know I'm going at 2 o'clock. I mean, it's a little after 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm guessing a lot of people are working. A lot of people are traveling. People are just doing whatever, people are going about. So I know this is a tough time for people to come see me on here. But yeah, this is just a stream of consciousness. I'm just rambling right now. Let me see. What else is there to talk about today? God. I've actually had it with Brianna Wu. Yeah. I've had it with Brianna Wu. Oh, wait, here we go. You know what? Here's some positive news. This just came a few minutes ago. Breaking: Nick Sordor once again, who's doing God's work here. President Trump confirms Secretary Hegseth ordered a kinetic strike this morning on narco terrorists operating just off the shores of Venezuela. Got another one. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna play this. Definitely gonna play this. Oh, love it. Absolutely love it. Get this shit all right. Get this shit. Keep this shit from hitting our streets. Keep this shit away out of our country. Keep that shit off our streets. I'm gonna tell you right now. And I get a lot of hear from a lot of I see a lot of leftists talking shit and being like, well, what about due process? Why can't we? that it getting blown to kingdom come in international waters is the due process. You leftist bitch. That is the process. Getting blown to kingdom come with tons of fentanyl and all sorts of other nastiness that spreads sickness to our streets. That's your due process, motherfucker. Getting nuked. Getting hit from above before that shit even hits, but before that shit can even get into international waters. And that's the thing that gets me. It's like leftists are like, well, maybe if, well, what about due process? Why can't they just wait until they get to our waters and then interdict? Interdictions? Nah, I'm good. Why can't we just get the Coast Guard involved? Okay, so let's see here. Putting coasties at risk, which I mean, obviously that's what they enlist for, you know. And shout out to the Coast Guard. Shout out to my old friend Gino. I miss you, brother. I haven't seen you in a couple years. Like, I don't want for that stuff. You like, how are we defining what is humane? That's really what I want to talk about. Like, I really want to get into that. Because leftists have just completely pissed me off. I mean, I truly despise these people. Here's my question. How is it more humane to leave these people to why do leftists consider it more humane to leave drug addicts and fent zombies on the streets to suffer in their own filth and squalor? Why do leftists consider that? Why do leftists consider it more of a kindness to let some zombie on the fucking 5 train in Manhattan terrorize passengers going to work in the morning or going home at night? Why do leftists consider it more humane to leave some schizophrenic with his coat smattered in shit, literal human fecal matter? Why is it considered more humane to let that poor soul languish amongst the public? Anybody want to tell me? I mean, seriously, why is it okay to stack bodies? Why is it okay and more humane to stack drug addicts on Skid Row in Los Angeles? Why is it more humane to these leftists to warehouse drug addicts, the mentally ill, and all sorts of other people? Why do they feel that it's somehow more humane to warehouse them in San Francisco? Why have they been turning every single big city in America into San Francisco? Why is it more humane how is it more humane to leave them there instead of getting them care, getting them into facilities, getting these people off the streets into safer environments, objectively safer environments? What guilt complex are these people actually trying to assuage? What guilt are you trying to soothe? Unless you're trying to keep the problem going, keep the party going. Unless you want to keep throwing money at a problem that y'all started. I mean, that's kind of what it looks like to me. Bring in a few nonprofits to play at solving an issue. I mean, but then again, I mean, what the fuck? The Biden administration, what'd they do? Harm reduction. Let's set up vending machines. Set up vending machines in Manhattan and opium dens, state-sponsored opium dens. Let's set that up. Safe injection sites. Because enablement has become empowerment. The fucking Seattle police chief talking about, well, I don't know. Well, I'm not going to judge what these people do or how they or why they do drugs. Why does he steal? I'm going to assume he had a hard life. So I'm not going to judge, and therefore I'm not going to enforce the law. You're a bitch. You are weak. Enforcing the law up to these people is white supremacy. It's problematic. No, you're a lazy fucking bitch. That's what it is. You don't want people to do better. You don't want people to actually get cleaned up. You don't want to solve problems. These people don't want to solve problems because there's more money in keeping a problem going and pretend to solve a problem than there is to actually solve the problem. What sense does it make to get these people off the streets? What sense does it make to open up mental institutions again and get people to actually use them if you can just put in, you can just keep the government, keep the financial kickbacks from the federal government. Just keep the money rolling in. That's all you got to do to at least look like you're solving the problem. That disgusts me, man. As someone who has been homeless, granted, I wasn't homeless long. I wasn't homeless for years at a time. And I certainly didn't choose to be homeless. I was homeless because of a couple of bad decisions and friends who I thought were friends turning against me. I made a lot of bad decisions when I first moved up. I moved up to New York by myself 10 years ago. My soon-to-be my ex-wife, I was trying to reconcile. She didn't want to come up to New York with me, even though the job that I had finally gotten, after 7 years, I came up here for the opportunity for a career change that essentially would have taken our marriage hopefully to the next level. And she decided she decided to stay home with her mama, and the rest is history. But I was homeless for about a month. I didn't choose to be homeless. And I had a lot of help. People, I had a lot of help from coworkers who helped point me in the right direction. I wasn't on drugs or anything like that. It was simply bad decision. But to be out there living out of my car, sleeping in my car at night, you don't want people to live like that. It's not humane for your streets to look like that. I don't care what these people say. These Democrats, decline is a choice. I've been wanting to rant about this for a while. When you look at New York City, when Alvin Bragg wrote that memo 4 years ago saying that he wasn't going to prosecute up to $750, shoplifting up to $750. Do you understand what that does to a society at large? When the general public knows that when criminals, first up, forget the general public for a second. I mean, you shouldn't forget the general public, but let's talk about the criminal element for a minute. The criminal element says, "Oh, you're not gonna prosecute $750? Oh, let me sign right the fuck up. Let me go and boost out of CVS and Rite Aid and Walgreens. Let me go take some shit out of there and then turn it over on Amazon." Because you know they do that, right? Let me go to Lululemon or the meatpacking district and let me loot those businesses. Just run in and just take armfuls of shit, armfuls of merchandise. Just take it out there with your fucking COVID masks on and everything. I'm going, as long as it's below $750, I can get away scot-free. That's, I guess, restorative justice. When Alvin Bragg did that, that was a demoralization. That was demoralizing the public. Because now what happens? You're not going to go out and spend any money. You're not going to go out and spend any money. All you're going to do, you know what that does? That helps Amazon, and that helps online. That helps you order shit online. So you get conditioned to live in the pod. Stay home. Remember that's what COVID was all about, staying home. Conditioning the public to stay in the house and bake bread and go from baking bread to eating bugs, whatever the fuck. The bottom line is, it was social engineering. Why would you go outside? Why would you go anywhere if crime is so bad and so out of control that I'm just going to stay in the house and order all my stuff? I'm not going to go out and be social. I'm not going to do pro-social things. No, that's not what they want. Well, that was quick. That was fast. Anyways, just got some breaking news that Baltimore Ravens signed this guy CJ Gardner-Johnson practice squad. So guess what? He gone. The Ravens' woes continue. My poor Ravens, man. Baltimore Ravens, we are such a garbage ass team this year. Y'all have no idea how much it hurts to know that the 1-5. Baltimore Ravens are 1-5. Jeez. But decline, like I said, decline is a choice. Decline is a choice. When I moved up to New York City, when I moved up here to New York City 10 years ago, the one thing that I was always attracted to, even when I came up here, like when I first started coming up here, and when I say here, I'm talking about like the New York City area. I started coming up here in 2007. And then I moved up here the first time in 2008, moved back to Baltimore in 2010, then came back up here in 2015. The thing that attracted me the most about New York City was how vibrant and lively and happening this town was, man. Like New York City is summers in New York City are magical. I maintain that. And the powers that run this city, the powers that run this town, the state, are trying to dim the light of that. I'm trying to dim some of the light of New York City because they want people immiserated. Yes, it is miserable to spend $6,000 on a one-bedroom apartment in Manhattan, to go downstairs, and as soon as you open up your door, you've got 20 fucking homeless people down the block. That's demoralizing. It's demoralizing to then, as you spend that $6,000 a month on a fucking on a studio or one bedroom, you got 20 homeless people down the block. Depending on where you live, let's just say you live in Soho, because that's where you're spending $6,000 a month for a one bedroom. You go to Canal Street, and there's a bunch of military-aged men. Most of them are here illegally. They came over here when the borders were wide the fuck open. They're the ones selling all the fake bags now. The Asians, the ones who used to do it, because you know that we're talking. Well, Canal Street is Chinatown, so all the Chinese people that were selling fake bags like fake Coach and fake Gucci and all that. Guess what? Now these Africans are. Now the Africans are all them scamming asses right there on Canal Street, selling fake purses. And they're all looking at you. They're all looking at your daughter. So then you have to deal with that, with the homeless people down the block, the scammers and the boosters on Canal Street. Then you go in the subway because you know you're one of these climate change people. You know, you're one of these good white liberals. You're trying to do your part to save the planet and all that. And parking is a bitch already in Manhattan. So you're like, well, you know what? I want to travel somewhere. So you get on the subway since it's right there, and you can get the Midtown in 10, 15 minutes. And right there and as soon as your 6 train pulls up to take you to Grand Central Terminal, on one side of the car you've got another homeless bum, because the worst of the worst seem to be in the subway. You've got some bum with his back turned. He's jerking off on the bench. The other mother, and then there's another guy who's sitting across from him. He's covered in piss. And then there's another bum that walks right by those two, looking for change. Will walk up to you. Some of them even get mad these days. They get mad aggressive asking for change. You're spending $6,000 a month in rent, or however much you're spending. Matter of fact, forget that. That's demoralizing enough. And listen, those people, they probably have enough money. They're going to have enough money to navigate their way out of a situation like that. But let me take it back. But let me take it to some real people for a second. Let me take it to people who live in Brownsville, right? Because I used to live in Brownsville. I was in Brownsville almost 5 years. Let's say you're a middle class plumber or transit worker or something, right? You make good money. You've got a good job, union job with benefits. And let's say you have a car. And you're spending what? You're spending, let's say you're spending $1,800 a month on a 2-bedroom. Yes, those actually can be had in Brooklyn, but you're gonna go to the hood. You're spending $1,800 a month, and you drive to work because you made it. You made it, right? You grew up poor. You finally get to the middle class. You finally got a good job. You put away your money. And then you have to worry about the gentrifiers. Becky and Tristan coming from the fucking Midwest. You got to worry about them coming, right? And then they're coming from the Midwest. They got their cars. So now they've got like 2 vehicles on top of yours. And now, and now there's less parking space, right? But then the speed limit in New York City, you can't even go anywhere effectively because they just recently lowered the speed limit. So now the speed limit in New York City is 25, unless you're on the West Side Highway, FDR Drive, whatever. Unless you're on a highway or a parkway, you are capped at 25 miles an hour. And there are speed cameras on every fucking block who are ready to pop you if you are even 1 mile an hour over the grace period. 1 mile an hour over the grace limit, and guess what? Ready to hit you with $40 here. Ready to hit you with $70 there. Ready to hit you with anything. And I'm going through this because this is the demoralization process, right? So then it's already 25 mile an hour. You're already, you already got bike lanes and everything else. They are literally making it more difficult to drive. So you're spending $1,800 a month. You've lived in New York City your entire life. You got the great job, great benefits. And then the way that you go home, the way that you drive to work and drive back home, they decide to tear up the road, the main thoroughfare that you take, and decide they take Flatbush Avenue and say, we're going to put 2 center bus lanes in the middle and eliminate 2 car lanes. And they started it last month. You doubt me? Here you go. DOT to cut 2 car lanes and add bus and bike space on Flatbush Avenue. They've already started. Look at that. So they're going to turn, mind you, for those of you who don't know, Flatbush Avenue is one of the main thoroughfares in the borough of Brooklyn. Flatbush Avenue runs all the way from the South Brooklyn, goes over. Matter of fact, you can take Flatbush Avenue to Rockaway Park. It basically, it almost bisects the entire borough, right? And they've decided through downtown Brooklyn, they're going to put that shit on the road. So now it's going to be one lane of traffic coming off the Manhattan Bridge. So traffic is even worse. You're capped at 25 miles an hour. You already don't want to drive. You already avoided paying $9 through for that congestion pricing nonsense. Only for DOT, for New York City's DOT, to turn Flatbush Avenue into some abhorrent nightmare that's going to guarantee you're in traffic. They are guaranteeing it's going to take 45 minutes to go 3 fucking blocks. You watch and see. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to use that as the pretext, manufactured pretext, to expand congestion pricing to the outer boroughs. You got a brand new car. Your rent is, you got a decent amount of rent per month, and the state, the city of New York is actively making your life miserable. Now you understand why more native New Yorkers are leaving that town. Native New Yorkers are leaving in droves. The working class in New York City is leaving in droves. And then they're going to put this fucking communist Zohran Mamdani in, who's going to keep the party going. That's why people left. That's why people fucking left. That's part of the reason why we left. No one wants to deal with that. I don't know, man. I'm just going off. I'm just talking. But that's what people are dealing with every day in New York City. And they're not, and let me tell you something, they're not even it's not just here in New York. In Baltimore, my hometown, bike lanes everywhere. They don't pave the fucking streets. They don't pave the streets. They can't, again, this is the same nonsense we've got here in New York. Can't clean storm drains, can't sweep the streets, can't get regular trash pickup. These fucking communists can't do the basics of city government, of municipal government. But they'll make sure they got their fucking happy Indigenous Peoples Day social media posts. They'll make sure that the entire fucking office knows that the Trans Day of Remembrance is coming up soon. And to make sure that International Pronouns Day is celebrated. So you better have your fucking name tag with your pronouns on it. Like, this is what again, the demoralization process is real. We have been demoralized over us. Well, really, this is a long march through the institutions. We've talked about this before. But this is especially disgusting. Because, see, now the demoralization process and the destabilization process that Yuri Bezmenov talked about, It's now affecting people's lives directly, man. You don't, again, the communists know that their ideas, that their revolution does not, people do not choose their ideas willingly. They know this. Oh, let me just give up my property for the glory of the state. I want to be more human, so I'm going to give up I'm going to positively transcend my private property as human self-estrangement. Nobody fucking does that normally. People want to own their homes. People don't want to live 10 to an apartment unit. People want to aspire to great things. They don't want to sit around normally. They don't want to sit around and wait for the government to give them everything. They don't want to do that. But of course, that's where the force comes in, the force of socialism. And unfortunately, because we've had a 60-year, a 6-decade long march through the 6 decades long march through the institutions. And we're in and now we're at the end of it where the entire culture, all the means of cultural production, have been captured. That's why your movies suck. That's why your TV shows all talk about the same things. That's why everything's a fucking remake, and the remakes are very much socialist coded. That's why all that is. It's a demoralization project. They have to force this shit onto you or slowly manipulate you into choosing it. Or they just get into positions of power and say, well, fuck what the people want. Our agenda is for the greater good. Fuck the people. Listen, y'all want to live like that? Mazel tov. I don't. You shouldn't want to live like that. You really shouldn't. But then again, convenience and all sorts of stuff, like they just sell this shit to people. They do. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. Anyways, that's my time. I want to thank all of those who just passed by and just to hear me rant. Gonna actually try to do maybe one more of these later on in the week. I'm on vacation all week, so thank you to those 459 people who stopped in. Hopefully I wasn't too much of a pain in the ass. Also, please look for Apostate Radio. Please watch us, support us, like, subscribe. We're doing it all. We're doing big things, man. Greatly appreciate all of you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, in the next stream.